Good morning to those who are gathered here in the sanctuary and to all who are joining us online today. We begin this morning with a prelude from Scott DeVoe. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Charlottesville. My name is Reverend Tim Temerson. My pronouns are he and him. And I'm pleased to be leading worship this morning with my colleague, the Reverend Leah Derlin-Jones, Carissa Temerson, Andrew Allard, Serafina Whiff, and our Director of Music, Scott DeVoe. This sanctuary was built over 70 years ago on the homeland of the Monacan people and was once cared for by enslaved people from Africa and their descendants. We honor all who have dwelt here and all in our congregation whose lives led to this moment of our gathering. I invite us now to take a moment to greet others. Those online may unmute, and those here in the sanctuary or social hall are welcome to greet your neighbors, especially those you may not know. A special welcome to newcomers and invite you to join us after the service in the social hall. Please feel free to take one of our red coffee mugs, which are for newcomers, and to sit at our newcomers table, which you can identify by the red tablecloth. And UUCville members and friends are always reminded to offer a warm welcome to anyone with a red mug. There is a live stream of the service in the social hall, and while of course everyone is welcome in here, the social hall can be a good option if you need a roomier space. Many thanks to all the folks helping us share worship both here and online. Our greeters, ushers, hospitality teams, special thanks to the AV Tech team led by Rachel Buckland. And I also wanted to mention our wonderful altar decoration team. Look at this beautiful, beautiful altar that they created. Yes, their work is it just adds so much to worship, and Reverend Leah and I are so grateful. And now we have greetings from board member Aksha Carrier.
Morning. We had a great board meeting last week where we said sad goodbyes to a few who were retiring from their terms. And I just want to mention, in case anybody forgot from the congregational meeting when we talked about this, we said goodbye to Kay Fraser and Renee Brett and Sylvie Semmelhack and Pam McIntyre, who's been our wonderful president for the last few years. And yes, everybody clap. And we got to welcome some new people who are just as exciting, and we're all looking forward to being with them. Jimmy Gorham, Kim Grover, Ellie Severud, and Carol Gardner, who's going to take on the job of being our president. So we're excited about that too. And finally, I just want to say we had a wonderful turnout and a wonderful event at the No Kings protest and parade and celebration. Woo! There were lots of us there. more than I knew. There were a bunch of us all in one spot, but lots of us sprinkled all over, and it was a wonderful event. And I think I want to give a special shout out to Laurie Craddock, who works with Indivisible, and I know there's a lot of work behind the scenes to make this event known and attended and safe and happy and fun for everybody. And she has been working on this for a long time. So thank you, Laurie. Thank you all.
Thank you, Aksha. So here are a few announcements. This morning, immediately following the service, Reverend Leah and I invite you to join us out in the Remembrance Garden for a brief, hopefully the weather will cooperate, celebration of the life of longtime church member Virginia James, who died one day shy of her 105th birthday and was a member of this congregation for 72 years. So her family will be here, and they'll be placing her nameplate out in the garden, and we'll be there just to say a few words and share a few memories, so please do join us, and we'll be heading right out at the end of the service. As Aksha said, we want to thank everyone who attended the No Kings protest yesterday. I've got a couple pictures. Woohoo! So, and that's not everybody, but there's some pictures. And so someone told Reverend Leah she looked like a camp counselor. Maybe, I don't know. So, yeah, we had just a wonderful time, and it just really felt like that those who came were really putting love into action. So that's wonderful. A reminder that we are rapidly coming up on the end of the church's fiscal year on June the 30th, which means that all 2024-25 pledges are due. If you have not completed your pledge, please do so ASAP. And if you have questions about how much you've already paid or what your remaining balance is, you can email pledgeminder@uucharlottesville.org. So another celebratory piece of news. For those of you who came in through the Edgewood Lane entrance, the new doors are on and working, and they are beautiful. So we are so happy and excited about that. The previous Edgewood Lane doors are now in the parlor, and which we think that's a really cool thing. So Sally Taylor, I didn't say I was going to embarrass you, but can you just at least wave your hand, because Sally's been on the One Short committee, and Sally and the rest of the committee have been a case study in resilience, I must say. So, if you are new to the UU Congregation of Charlottesville, please join me and several lay leaders next Sunday after the service for our monthly newcomer circle. Just drop in. It's 30 minutes of relaxed conversation, and we look forward to seeing you. And finally, everyone, please, is invited to join us in the social hall for refreshments, a lot of really nice, beautiful Pride decorations, and a Pride cake and cupcakes lovingly prepared by our own David Shutt. So come on to the social hall and get your Pride on.
I invite us now to center ourselves for worship with these words by Sharon Wiley. We speak so often of brokenness in religious life. Let us speak today of wholeness and joy.
You are welcome here, all of you, every part of you, beautiful, just the way you are.
Here, you do not need to be something more or something less. No holding back, no hiding, no exerting yourself, no trying to do more or to be more.
You have inherent worth and dignity. Nothing to prove here. Nothing to prove to me or the person sitting next to you or to the children or to anyone.
You don't have to try and be witty or more quiet or more outgoing. You are beautiful. Every part of you is beautiful, just the way you are.
You do not need to change anything about yourself to be welcome here. your skin, your hair, your belly, your limbs, your face, all beautiful, just the way they are.
You are extraordinary. Each and every one of you different from each and beautiful in your own beautiful way. Breathtaking.
Let us worship together.
Together. I now invite Carissa and Andrew to light our chalice and invite everyone to join me in saying our chalice lighting words. We gather this hour as people of faith with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning in celebration of the life we share together. And now let's speak together and also use our hand motions. Our hand out flat like the matchbook and our finger is the match. We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is a church of open minds. This is a church of helping hands. This is a church of loving hearts. I invite you now to please rise in body or spirit for our opening hymn, number 1010, Oh, We Give Thanks. The words will be projected. Today is Father's Day, and I invite you into a time of meditation as we remember. Take in these words by Rod Richards. On this Father's Day, we recognize the vast spectrum of experience and the often complicated feelings that surround such a celebration. We honor those fathers and father figures in our lives who have loved, supported, encouraged, and instructed us. And we seek to share these gifts with others. We mourn with those who mourn the loss of a father, and fathers who mourn the loss of a child, whether separated by death or estrangement. We support those for whom this day brings pain and sorrow, who suffered abandonment, neglect, or abuse. We support and celebrate the fathers in our midst who give of themselves to their children, recognizing all the strength and wisdom and stamina and love and time and honest introspection that fatherhood requires. We support those men who choose not to have children, yet who are present in loving and supportive ways to children, youth, and adults alike. We seek to honor wherever we find ourselves today across this vast spectrum of experience, and to feel the compassion that embraces us within this silence. I invite you now to join me in the spirit of prayer. You might notice your breath as it's moving in and out, and perhaps even place your hand on your own beating heart. Spirit of life, Spirit of love, be with us this day as we notice and honor all the feelings that are arising. Help us not to turn away, but to acknowledge and grieve the unnecessary cruelty and the loss of life occurring around us, in many places in our own country and also in the wider world. Help us to remember that we are part of the interconnected web of life, and that those who are suffering are inextricably bound to us as we are bound to them. Help us bring empathy, compassion, and love where it is needed. Help us be loving and kind to ourselves and to everyone we encounter. Help us actively center love. Spirit of life and love, be with us today as we celebrate Pride, and let us open our hearts to all the expressions of love just waiting to be noticed, just waiting to be affirmed, just waiting to be celebrated. Let this abiding love guide us and bring us ever more hope, ever more courage, ever more resolve, and a lasting sense of peace. Amen, and blessed be. We are an interconnected community that cares for one another, and part of how we embody this care is by making time each week to share the joys and the sorrows that we hold in our hearts. I will now share what was submitted earlier this week. In honor of all of our joys and sorrows, everyone is invited to come forward as you wish and place a glass stone in a communal bowl of water as a symbolic act of each being held by the larger love that holds us all. All are welcome to participate, including those who are new to our congregation, and those who are with us online this morning are invited to type your joy or sorrow into the chat. We have 2 baskets holding glass stones, one at the back of the sanctuary and the other near the front pews. Please take a stone or stones from whichever basket is closest to you. When you have your stone, feel free to come down the center aisle or the side aisles and make your way to the bowl of water on the table here in front. No need to form a line, simply come forward as you are so moved. There's plenty of room for all of us. Doesn't have to be one person at a time to drop their stone into the bowl. Patty Wallens from our pastoral care team will come forward and help hold the space, and Patty will also be available for a few minutes after the service in this back corner of the sanctuary if you are in need of support or just want someone to listen. Those online can contact the pastoral care team at pastoral@ucharlottesville.org. Let us begin.
This community offers its love and support to what is closest to our hearts. Another way we show our care for one another is in sharing our financial gifts with our community and our congregation. Our social action collection for the month of June is for Partners for Mental Health, whose mission is to connect persons with mental illness or substance use disorder to community supports. In addition to giving online, if you'd like to make a donation to our social action collection with cash or check, please use one of the social action collection envelopes here in the sanctuary and place them in the collection plate. Remember that if you want to write a check, please make it out to the UU Congregation of Charlottesville and write social action collection in the memo line. We also, of course, invite you to generously support the ministries and mission of this congregation through your pledges and the weekly Sunday morning offering. Together, our financial gifts support our congregation and enable us to put love into action. This is our shared ministry. And again, during the music that follows, you can offer your financial gifts to UUCville by using the text address or going to our website. You can also place cash or checks in the collection plates. So let us now dedicate all of the many gifts we share with one another by saying, "We accept your gifts with gratitude. May we use them wisely for the highest good." Scott, and thank you so much for your generosity. So as I hope you're aware, today is Pride Sunday here at the UU Congregation of Charlottesville. And Reverend Lee and I were thinking about what we would do for this service. We talked for about 10 seconds about one or both of us preaching. We thought, yeah, been there, done that. Then we had the idea that maybe what would be really meaningful today would be to invite some of our young adults from our congregation to share the meaning of pride to them. And especially as the title of our service is, why is pride more important now than ever? So we've invited 3 of our young adults, Carissa, Andrew, and Serafina, who are going to share some reflections about what pride means to them. And so we're going to begin with Carissa. So Carissa, come on up.
Hi, everyone. My name's Carissa Temerson. Reverend Tim is my father, for those of you who do not know. I use they, she pronouns, and I'm here to chat a little bit with you about what pride means to me, both professionally and personally, and my firsthand experiences with why pride is so important now more than ever. In a professional capacity, talk just a little bit about that. I work at the University of Virginia supporting LGBTQ, mostly undergraduate students, and running the LGBTQ center there. And those students have been through a lot lately. from executive orders that have been designed to reject their identities, to UVA suspending gender affirming care temporarily and then bringing it back, causing a lot of issues with continuity in care, to our students who are graduating, going out into the world and not knowing if the states that they're going to are safe or the companies that they're going to be working at are supporting them. It is a rough time for a lot of us. But as a member of the LGBTQ community myself, the struggles of our community, past and present, are deeply, deeply personal and relevant to me. The world is already a really difficult place to navigate, and the added stress of individual and institutional level oppression makes it even more challenging and scary. Pride and queer joy is so, so important right now, celebrating ourselves in the face of immense challenges, obstacles, and very real danger. It is important to find and experience joy, to celebrate success, to live in the calm sometimes, to have solidarity one another, and to find community. So my partner, Kenley, and I recently went to World Pride in Washington, D.C. Happened last weekend. It was beautiful and amazing and a huge showing of the love and the support that exists within our community. One of our greatest strengths is that we show up to celebrate one another and celebrate our lives and our love. So we went to the Pride Festival, and the Pride Festival was a huge showing of queer and trans people and amazing organizations that are working every day to support those communities. We met nonprofits run by queer and trans people designed to serve the needs of our communities when so few organizations do. We met queer and trans artists who make sure that LGBTQ creators are represented in books and media. And we saw Cynthia Erivo in concert, for those of you who know who that is. She's one of the stars of Wicked, and she was amazing, a proud queer woman who knows that representation matters and showing up and celebrating our community matters. We went to drag brunch with our friends who we went with and saw beautiful and vibrant drag queens perform. We were able to chat with many of those queens and connect with these queer artists who bring life and to the experience and the excitement of the community. We had opportunities to engage with queer art and culture, and that is so vital for helping us feel seen and feel celebrated. So now I want to show just a brief clip, a video of me and my partner's own experience of queer joy at drag brunch, and then I'll talk you through it after. Okay, so yeah, that's me and my partner dancing. So in this clip, my partner Kenley and I are at drag brunch, and during intermission, people at other tables around us started to get up and dance. So we felt inspired to get up and to dance and express our love right there in the restaurant. And our friend, who we did not know was videoing us until afterwards, and he sent us this video, had tears in his eyes when we sat back down and told us that he was just so happy because 10 or 20 years ago, he would never have seen people dancing like that and celebrating love like that in a restaurant in DC. And I think that was really important and really meaningful to me. Pride and celebrations of queer joy and community are important and beautiful right now. We need to continue representing ourselves in media, in the world, and just out there every day at restaurants so that future generations can see and understand the beauty of the LGBTQ community and feel empowered to love and celebrate themselves in the coming years, despite challenges and struggles that we are currently facing, have faced, and will continue to face. Thank you.
Andrew? Yep.
Good morning. Pride is a sin. Every year, as pride parades unfold across the country, we hear that refrain from fundamentalist Christian protesters. They scrawl it in capital letters on their signs, sometimes accompanied by a Bible verse. When pride comes, then comes disgrace. That's Proverbs chapter 12, verse 2. To state the obvious, most Unitarian Universalists do not share this view. We don't generally think of sin in the same way as our Christian siblings, and while some UUs find inspiration in the Bible, we tend to prefer reading it critically rather than as the infallible Word of God. There are plenty of reasons to distrust the sincerity of religious critics who say pride is sinful. Are they truly proud of nothing? Are they not proud Christians or proud Americans? And after all, doesn't the Bible teach them to judge not? Still, even we UUs can acknowledge that certain forms of pride can be dangerous. When taken too far, pride becomes arrogance or hubris that can lead to believing in one's own superiority and even justifying the mistreatment or marginalization of others. This is a form of pride we, as Unitarian Universalists, can recognize as harmful and even antithetical to our belief in justice and pluralism. But that has never been what our pride is about. Our pride isn't about superiority, it's about equality. Our pride isn't about marginalizing those who are different. It's about loving and including them. And though it may seem a contradiction, our pride is a humble one. It's rooted in a shared history of struggle against oppression. To paraphrase the writer and queer rights activist Dan Savage, and those of you who have read Dan will understand my need to paraphrase, Dan says, "I'm not proud of being just gay. Any idiot can get a boyfriend. I'm proud of the gay men who came before me and struggled to make the world a better place for the gay men coming after them. And I've tried to do my part to make the world a better place for the gay men and for all the queers who are coming after me." That's what I'm proud of. That's what pride is about. For gay men my age, the debt to our predecessors runs especially deep. When I was born, it was still illegal in some states for gay couples to have sex. It wasn't until 2003 that the Supreme Court held in Lawrence versus Texas that criminalizing so-called homosexual conduct was unconstitutional. That case laid the foundation for the Supreme Court to recognize marriage equality nationwide just 12 years later. Thanks to the work of LGBTQ rights activists, I can say that I was born in a country where my love could put me in prison, and now I live in a country where my love is a protected right. But sadly, as you all know, that is not the end of the story. Today, LGBTQ equality is under attack across the country. According to the ACLU, this year alone, nearly 600 anti-LGBTQ bills are being considered in 49 state legislatures, including 17 such bills right here in Virginia. And as Carissa highlighted, there are many other ways in which people right here in Charlottesville are similarly under attack. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court appears likely to issue several anti-LGBTQ decisions this month during Pride Month, including one involving a Tennessee law that bans gender-affirming care for minors, and another that would restrict public schools' ability to read storybooks featuring LGBTQ characters in the classroom. Indeed, just last month, the court allowed the Trump administration to go forward with its ban on transgender Americans serving in the military. I could go on. The recent attacks on queer Americans are too many to recount here in my brief time at the dais. But that is why we need pride now more than ever. We must unite in opposition to this new wave of anti-queer hate. I was delighted to join many UUCville congregants yesterday afternoon at the No Kings protest. And if you couldn't join, rest assured that there will be many more opportunities to fight back in the coming months. It's on all of us to work toward a future where equal justice is for everyone, no matter who you love, how you dress, or which pronouns you use. And that work, our collective commitment to justice and inclusion, that is what we're truly proud of. That's what Pride is about. Thank you. Happy Pride. And to Dad, if you're watching, and to all the dads out there, happy Father's Day.
Thank you, Carissa and Andrew. Looking forward to hearing from Serafina. Reverend Leah, maybe you and I should take many more Sundays off. I don't know, man. This preaching's pretty high level today. So before Serafina speaks, we're going to rise in body or spirit and join in singing hymn number 368. It's Now Let Us Sing. The lyrics will be on the screen. Now, this hymn can be a little tricky because it's written for two voices, sort of a higher pitch and a lower pitch. And as good Unitarian Universalists, we let you decide where you're pitching. So please rise and let's join in singing Now Let Us Sing. Serafina, come on up.
Hello, my name is Serafina, and my pronouns are she, her. I've lived in Seville for almost 4 years now, and I've been volunteering with the Charlottesville Pride Network since I was introduced to the organization in 2021. Our main focus is hosting Pride every year and the fundraising, volunteer organizing, and vendor coordination that goes into a successful festival. In Virginia, Pride celebrations are held in September. This is done for a few reasons. One, we're able to support and celebrate other Pride events during the busy month of June, such as World Pride. And then waiting until September also allows us to fully include all of our college students who are an important segment of the queer community. Pride festivals are far more than colorful parades, exuberant outfits, and lively celebrations. They are deeply rooted in the history of resistance, resilience, and the ongoing fight for equality for LGBTQ+ individuals. Their impact stretches beyond the festival grounds, leaving lasting impressions on society, policy, and personal identity. At their core, Pride festivals commemorate the Stonewall riots of 1969, which were a pivotal moment when LGBTQ+ individuals, particularly Black trans women, stood up against systemic oppression and police brutality. What began as an act of defiance evolved into a global movement, and today, Pride is both a celebration and a call to action. It reminds the world that queer rights are human rights and that visibility can be revolutionary. Pride festivals are so important because they create spaces where queer people can be fully and unapologetically ourselves, often for the first time. In a world that has always marginalized queer identities, Pride offers affirmation, community, and a sense of belonging. They help individuals shed shame, reconnect with joy, and claim a place in the public narrative of the Charlottesville community. Pride sends a powerful message to allies, policymakers, and institutions. Inclusion matters. The presence of families, corporations, and politicians at Pride signals progress and reinforces the idea that equality is not optional, but essential. For young queer people, having their identities celebrated publicly can be life-saving. It shows them that they are not alone and that a hopeful future is possible. However, Pride is not without its critiques. Some argue with us that commercialization dilutes its radical origins and that the focus has shifted too far towards mainstream acceptance. One of the questions we inevitably get is, why do we still need Pride festivals? Charlottesville is inclusive and welcoming, and everyone is fine with gay people now, right? Unfortunately, that isn't the case in our world today. And even if it were, it would still be vitally important to remember the original meaning of Pride and its history to avoid repeating our mistakes as a society. I believe that we have a duty to our community to keep showing up for events like Pride, especially in the face of a hateful government that seeks to tear down individuality and break queer spirits. These conversations are necessary and healthy, reminding us that Pride must remain inclusive, intersectional, and centered on the needs of the most marginalized within our community. To me, our Pride Festival matters because we are blending celebration within resistance. We aim to honor the past while building a future where love, identity, and self-expression are met not with fear or hatred, but with dignity. The impact of Pride is felt long after the festival is over and the glitter has all been swept away in the minds and hearts of everyone who experienced it. I'm thrilled to announce that this year's Pride in Charlottesville will be on September 6th at the Ting Pavilion. As always, the best way to support Charlottesville Pride is by volunteering or donating. The 2024 Charlottesville Pride Festival was a huge success, in part thanks to this wonderful community. Throwing a festival requires a lot of early investment, including booking the venue, securing entertainment, arranging food and beverage, licensing, and lots more. Any donations or your time, commitment, or effort in volunteering will go directly to the Seville Pride's team's effort to throw a bigger, better festival in 2025. If you're interested in volunteering or donating, please come talk to me after the service. Thank you.
Serafina, thank you so much, and thanks for announcing, reminding us of the date. I'll let you all know that UUCville is registered. We have our table space, and I haven't sent the check-in yet, but that's coming, I promise. And I'll just add that if you are interested in volunteering to help with our table, of course, we would welcome that as well. And so just be in touch with me, let me know after the service, email me, tim@uucharlottesville.org. We had a wonderful time last year, and Pride was just, it was a huge success, and it was great. And it's also the closest I get to sort of sidewalk evangelism, which I really enjoy doing, I have to say. So, but Andrew, in a non-hateful, exclusionary way, I promise. So anyway, yeah, so we're just very excited to be at Pride in the fall, in September, so hope to see all of you there. So let's now rise in body or spirit and join in singing our closing hymn. It's number 1018, Come and Go With Me. Please rise. Serafina, would you please extinguish the chalice? And just a reminder, after the benediction, that Reverend Leah and I will be heading out to the Remembrance Garden for those of you who would like to join us and join Virginia James's family. Also, can I ask Andrew and Carissa and Serafina if you all would stand out there and let everyone high five and hug and all the rest of it. So that would be great. So, okay. So our closing words, which I absolutely adore, are from Cricket Hall. May the drag stage rise to meet you.
May the world rise to accept and embrace you.
May the rainbow of love enfold you.
May your fluidity never be hindered.
May your pronouns always be supported and your dead name forgotten.
May those you invite into your life remain loyal.
May your chosen family lift you up and catch you when you need it.
And may you be able to catch others when they need it.
May you remember that sensitivity is not weakness, but instead a great strength welling up inside you.
And may you always remember that you are loved and you are divine.
Amen.
Amen.
Peace.